What is up, folks? See if we can get that camera working. There we go. Beautiful. Welcome back to another live stream repair. I found my heat shrink. It was in a stupid spot. It was literally right over there, sitting underneath a HomePod, and didn't see it there. So, duh. But anyways, we've got some heat shrink tubing, so hopefully we can finish Fernanda's HomePod Mini that had a damaged power cable. We're not going to do that first though. We've got quite a bit to fix here, and we gotta try to touch and cover as much as we can. Who are we going to do first? I think we're going to do Jason first, because Jason's been hanging out here for a while. And let me double check and see that they were going for it. So 3472. That should be this fella. Alright. Looks like he wants to go for the repair. So we'll let him know how to watch that right now. Let him know that it's up now. And cool. Jason has been messaged. Let's let Eric know that they're next. And then we've got Will. What's wrong with Will's HomePod? Oh, Will's got a mini. I don't think we're gonna have time for that, but we'll scoot him back and see what we've got today. So here we go. We're gonna do Eric, and then what's up with this one? Has anyone been in here? Nope, no one's been in here yet. I believe we've got maintenance to do on Fernanda's other pod. Let me double check here. Did we? Okay, so we never did maintenance on Fernanda's other pod. So Eric, then Matt. Both Eric and Matt need Nandry balls. This is going to be a fun stream today. 3475 has a no power pod. And then we've got John with some death farts. 3488 with a brick. And then Nick with no power. Then we've got Will's. Oh, well, shoot. Let's see here. We need to finish Fernanda. Oh, shoot. But before we do any of that, we need to look at Sam's MacBook. Yes, that's right. We've got a MacBook here. This is like a 2017, 2019, something like that. In any case, actually, I'm probably way off. It's got the touch bar, but anyways, it's got a bit of, just a little bit of corrosion there, just a little. Some water damage. So this one's gonna be a bit of a challenge. Not sure if we're gonna be able to fix that, but we'll give it our best non-destructive efforts here. Okay, let's see, what else do we need to do here? We've got Sam up there. We need to put Fernanda and Will up there. And of course, you know, we've always got HomePods here from Mike waiting to get fixed up. All right. Who's with us in the chat here? We've got Stefan, welcome, welcome. Christian, welcome, welcome. And Kurt, welcome. Hola. Yes, Kurt, by the way, I did see your recent repair request. I just haven't had a chance to let you know yet, but you know how it goes. You'll hear from me soon. Okay. So here we've got Jason. We've already attempted to restore the software on Jason's HomePod a few streams ago, but it was not having it, and there you go. That's basically what it does. It sits here and it kind of flickers the volume buttons here and there. Karen Ichiban, let's go. So, I actually, funny enough, just got a parts pod for myself off eBay that showed up, and I had the time last night to mess with it, and it was doing the exact same thing. It had a broken display. So with a busted display, it might still turn on and or even respond to touch, but if it's not fully connected internally, it can't talk both ways internally, and it can cause issues like this. So I do suspect this one might be physical damage. But I have another logic board if it's not obvious what's going on with this one. It wasn't the errors we were getting during restore. I don't think this even gave us USB access. If I remember correctly, that's right. It wasn't even going into DFU mode for us. So without it even showing a connection to our computer, well, it showed some sort of USB device connected in the system information app, but nothing showing as a DFU or recovery mode device in Finder or Apple Configurator. Gaster didn't see anything. So oh yeah, we found our problem. This is really, really tricky to spot. It kind of just takes a bit of experience and knowing what to look for, but there's your problem. And I'm gonna go ahead and exaggerate it for you guys here and peel this up. But that's what happened. So this HomePod was almost certainly dropped on its head at one point, which pushes this in like that to exaggerate what happened. And when that happens, it starts to separate the boards apart and prevents it from booting all the way up. Believe it or not, that very well may prevent it from connecting via USB to our computer for us, but we need to keep digging because I see some more physical damage on that logic board, unfortunately. So I'm hoping we can, this will clear it up and it'll turn right on. I'm gonna make sure none of our ribbon cables are ripped or torn here. Sometimes this stuff gets pushed in and tears the ribbon cables, but all of this looks okay. So I'm gonna grab a known good display here and plug that in. Everything else is the same, it's all unchanged. You saw us open it for the first time here. Let's see if it boots up. So we no longer have the flickering volume buttons as it turns on anymore. That's a change in behavior. So definitely, without a doubt, that display was broken. And there you go. It's actually booted right up here. Beautiful.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the Home app associated with this HomePod.
Fantastic. So this technically just needs another display. But for how much I would charge them for the replacement display and to put it all back together, we're going to take it all the way apart and give them our signature hardware maintenance. We're going to get down to the amplifier and give it some new DC filters, since those often go bad and cause death farts. We're going to see if it needs a new Schottky diode, since those are what often go bad and cause no power. Only a particular batch of them, but we know what to look for. We're going to sniff the subwoofer, make sure it doesn't stink. We're going to replace the subwoofer gasket. It's an old foam piece, but we'll replace it with some solid rubber stuff to last longer. Excuse me, and give us a tighter bass response. Let's dust this out really quick. Excuse me. All right. Dan, afternoon, welcome. Can you explain how your new... Oh, can I explain my new table dock STL? I don't know for what I need the cap and bottom. I'll show you actually. Here in just a second. Let me get this... Let me get Tim's tears soaked into the silicone here. And so, here's the top of one of my cases, right? The idea with the top is just to set it on over the top of your HomePod so that when you sit it upside down on a table, you're not scratching that delicate plastic crystal on the top there. The dock itself, of course, obviously that's pretty self-explanatory. You remove the rubber base and you can bolt that sucker on. The other half of the case, the big empty shell that the dock sat in, that's purely just a case. That's just to hold your dock whenever you're not using it. But this is a functional piece. You use that to sit it on the top of the HomePod when you flip the HomePod upside down, so you're not scratching these precious plastic tops. So we got really lucky that this logic board is good and working. You can see that line there. So definitely the display got real close to this and even started pushing down on that whenever that happened to it. It's like a 50-50 chance when it's gone that far that it's busted up the logic board too, but we got lucky there. So I get to keep my spare logic board for another day. Or at least another pod. Oh yeah. Ooh. Our shell is cracked too. I'm surprised this even has a seal still. This should not be sealed. This new bit for my screwdriver lasted all of, like, what, 4 or 6 HomePods? How many did we fix yesterday? It's already stepping out. Subwoofer looks alright. No concerns there. This poor HomePod must have had one heck of a fall to end up like this. How is our shell? Where's that crack that I saw? There it is. Oh, okay. Well, that's not really cracked. I guess it's more just a scratch on the outside, yeah. Yeah, okay. That's all right. That's all good there. Who knows? Maybe they bought it broken like this. Maybe their cat knocked it off somewhere, off the counter. Maybe their dog tripped over the power cable. Or maybe they used it for batting practice. Maybe they have an ex-wife or an ex-girlfriend that wanted to get back at them. Truly evil way to get back at them. The HomePod didn't deserve this. I am HomePod Protective Services. There will be a line of questioning following this repair. Alright, here we are at our filters. These love to go bad and cause death farts and all sorts of base issues. Let me get this put back on there. Oh, the sounds that these make though. Ooh, except for that. Alright. Give this a sec for my fan bearings to warm up for the day. Oh yes, and it's time to finally retire the old original piece of silicone here from my original mat. I've cut a few new pieces out for myself that are a little smaller. Brand new. Homemade chili and cornbread tonight? Ooh, Dan, you might have just inspired me. It's been a long time since I've had some cornbread. Oh yeah, I did some more research on lead-free solder, and I've come to the conclusion that people that complain about lead-free solder need to get good, I suppose. Maybe use some better flux. I mean, who doesn't like that? That just works so well. So what if it's not shiny? Here we are at the star of the show, our Schottky diode. Actually, not for this HomePod. It doesn't even need a Schottky diode. That's a 52K date code right there. That's not going to ever fail and cause any power issues. So, can I speak German? No, I cannot. I don't even remember posting anything in German. If you saw me posting anything in another language, it's probably using a translator. The only other language I know is, like, a high school or two of, Spanish. My last name is German, though. Hey, Marvin, welcome. One of our fellow German HomePod nerds, actually. Funny you mentioned that. The true test here, if things are nice and sealed, is with these replacement subwoofer gaskets that I use, since they're sealing things a lot better than the foam ones were. They tolerate less leakage. But that sounds perfect. I guess the only casualty with it getting dropped there was the display. Not too bad. Kind of surprising when it damages the display enough to keep it from booting up. Heck, even showing up as a USB on our computer, you remember that? It wasn't responding. I'm gonna have to add that as a little tip, or at least something to think about when people are attempting to restore their own bricked HomePods. I mean, obviously, with any HomePod that's not booting all the way up, you can't really tell if it's a software or a hardware issue without trying things, be it a USB software restore or taking it apart and swapping hardware around. Obviously, it's a lot easier for people to connect a USB adapter and attempt a software restore, and then see if it errors, then chances are there's a hardware issue. As opposed to telling people to start taking their HomePods apart and swapping them around with known good parts to confirm, and then what? Just to try the software restore anyways? To restore the board if it's just a brick? Alright, I'm gonna give it a good smack just to make sure. I mean, if it can't survive that, then something's loose inside and it's not going to survive shipping back, let alone last them long enough to warrant charging them to fix it. I do, funny enough, I do kind of smack, and I don't throw them around, but I'm not the gentlest as far as, you know, trying to make sure that things are put together correctly and that they're not going to come apart in shipping and cause other issues. I learned a few years ago that that's one of the things I should be doing. Because sometimes as we're putting these together, some things you just don't catch, and it works fine, and then we ship it back. Even during testing, it works fine, totally fine, and then as soon as we ship it back, that's when it causes other problems.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Beautiful.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
And volume buttons light up nice and evenly. That is looking fantastic. So let's move on to, oh boy, some pain. It's time to hurt. Actually, do I have my solder wick? I can't actually do these if I don't have. Uh-oh. I might have run out. Oh. Give me a second here, folks. I don't think I ran out yet. Didn't think I did. Bollocks. Okay, well, here's what we can do. Yeah, let's do this. I've got some HomePods. With some good logic boards that we can use. I suppose in the interest of time we should just do this, and I'll save these logic boards for some for a stream where we just sit here and reball a bunch of logic boards one day. Today is not that day. Oh, and let's get Eric's name up on the screen. So I'm not going to bother with a USB restore on Eric's HomePod based on its description that they gave us. It has a history of breaking and unbreaking itself. So that's a hallmark sign of a hardware issue with the logic board. Specifically the BGA for the storage chip, the NAND. I wonder if this will turn right on for us here now, actually. Yeah, see, look at that.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the Home app.
Booted right up. So, let me make sure that I've got this understanding correctly. Sending another HomePod to you when I found it this morning, unresponsive in the Home app. Saw the blinking volume buttons. After power cycling, it functions normally. However, the HomePod had the same issue a few months ago. So, We trust not this logic board. What's up with the pod that I sent in the Discord server? Oh, that's about as much as I've gotten into it. I bought it off an eBay seller. It was just described as blinking volume buttons. And when I got it, sure enough, it blinks volume buttons for me. So I went to go attempt a software restore on it. And as I was removing the base, I noticed the base was really easy to remove. You know what was weird? Was the outer... There's two pieces of adhesive that hold the base on. This was really, really strange. There's this outer double-sided foam and this inner double-sided tape. The outer foam was glued on, like it was clearly factory glued into place. The inner tape still had the film on it. So from the factory, they must have put it on there and forgotten to take that film off. But here's the kicker. When you look at the debug port on the bottom of the HomePod, it's got indents on it, indicating someone had tried connecting to it with something. But not the right pins that you would typically use to attempt a software restore. So I don't know. Oh yeah, you might be wondering why we keep taking this apart if we've already gotten the logic board out. We're gonna get to the amplifier board and do our signature maintenance there and prevent other common hardware issues from giving this HomePod a reason to come back here. Some new DC filters to prevent death farts. A new Schottky diode if it needs one to prevent no power. A new subwoofer gasket to give it a better bass response, longer lasting bass response too, since that old foam stuff, yuck. Everything else smells alright here, so that should be all it'll need. A Serbian rock. Oh, that'd be cool though. It'll, whatever you send me, it'll live on my desk. Happy to keep it. Well, if it's not a biohazard, I'll say that. Wasn't anything too weird. The DC filters are MLCC ceramic capacitors, so to answer, if that answers your question, there's no polarity. MLCC caps don't have a polarity. They are bipolar, just like me. Pull up the SpaceX launch. I'm working. I can't watch stuff while I work. I can talk while I work. And granted that even, while I'm talking, talking while I work slows me down a little, but I can't watch stuff while I work. And I mean, I could listen to it, but I don't know what there's to listen to with a a rocket launch. Excuse me. Well, I don't know if I'm bipolar. I've probably got some sort of mood disorder. Who knows? The doctor probably knows, but I don't want to talk to him. I'm just kidding. There we go. Cool. And speaking of Eric, we've gotten their blessing to restore, or to reset its config. Not that we had much choice here. It needed a new logic board, so... Well, we could have tried to reball the NAND on it, but there's still a chance it wasn't going to work. In any case, they gave us the okay to wipe it if it needs it. So I'm going to take that as will be just as good to put in a known good logic board in there. and resetting and updating it. So we'll replace that diode before it needs to be replaced when it fails and causes no power. Not a design flaw with the HomePod, just a quality control issue with these particular diodes. Updates on the. I'm just waiting for the parts to come in from AliExpress still. That'll take a few weeks. That should wrap up the hardware maintenance for this one. Alright, like low-key, if anybody actually sent me radioactive material, you'll be one of my best friends. I won't hate you. I'll love you. I'll put it in a safe container and we'll have it on our desk here with us. Can't be worse than anything else I've done to myself in my life up to this point. AliExpress it's hit or miss, and I don't mind waiting either way because ultimately, like, you can't do better yourself for the price of shipping. But usually things only take like two to 4 weeks to show up for me. Is it actually possible to send radioactive material? I have no idea. That is a question. I have bought tritium. I've had tritium shipped to me before, but that was years ago, and you know that stuff's a lot safer when it's usually sold the way that it is. Do we wear magnifiers while we work? No. No. Are the components at a decent enough size for normal eyesight? It depends on what you're working on. I would generally maybe recommend not. Trying a lot of repairs without a microscope or some kind of magnification. I mean, I don't mean to sound like, ooh, I'm special, but I do have like significantly better than average eyesight, so I tend to be able to see things a lot better than the average person. I like, this is my microscope camera. It is it's not the most magnification, so that's my ring. So it's not the greatest quality. It's really just for you guys to see what I'm doing. I just look with my own eyeballs when I'm working on stuff. The diode repair and the filters repairs, the components themselves aren't terribly small. It's the stuff around them that you risk bumping around and what have you. Alright, so let's move on. We're coming back to Matt here. Matt's an interesting one. Let me send him a message real quick. Alright, Matt has been messaged. Let's let number 3475 know that they're up next here. Let's see, 3475. Text messaged. Curses. All right. So, Matt's is an interesting one. It was blinking volume buttons. It took a USB restore for us. And then we knocked out the hardware maintenance the next day. We've been testing it this whole time, and it's been working this whole time. But this morning, I came back to it. Lo and behold, it was blinking volume buttons. So based on their description of this HomePod's history, I can't say I'm surprised, but this is another one of those where the BGA, the solder connecting the storage chip to the board, is probably going bad. Since it's a bunch of tiny little solder balls, they love to expand, contract, shrink, crack, and corrode. Especially with the silicone infill around the chip heating up and cooling and expanding and contracting at different rates than the chip, it's all asking for kind of this sort of thing to happen. So I'll stick that in my pile of boards to attempt a reball in the near future. Until then, we will pull the same party trick that we did with Eric's HomePod and secure ourselves a solid replacement board in the meantime. And we've already done the hardware maintenance on this one. We've already torn it all the way apart and done the filters and diode. Subwoofer gasket. Giving it a good sniff. So we just need to pop another logic board into this guy. If we can get to one. Whew. That feels like it just becomes more and more of a workout as I get older. Oh, I didn't notice you there in the chat there. Oh, I did. I answered your question. Cool. All right. Very nice. Beautiful. I'll go ahead and dust this out. And we can just put this back together. We already did all the other hard work. I was almost gonna, it was really tempting to send this back to them with the same original logic board, and well, I would have been happy to take it back if it did brick itself again, but I'd rather not put them through that, and I'd rather have the issue reproduce itself while I have it so I can catch it and know that I've fixed it before I send it back to them. Nah, no one ships HomePods to me from Germany these days. A few years ago when we first started and first gen HomePods were still being sold by Apple, yeah, we had people from all over the world sending us these all the time. These days, there's enough people. Usually there's someone around you that fixes them. You're welcome. And the value of them, it just doesn't make sense to do international shipping if there isn't. I moved to Germany and single-handedly uproot the entire HomePod repair market. $60 repairs. We'll do 70 to, we'll do the same we do here, $70 to $80 repairs with shipping included. Totally own them. I can only do that here because we don't rely on it to make a living. This is something we do in our free time on the side to try to make living more comfortable, at least. But it doesn't keep the lights on. That's what the full-time day job is for. I imagine I would have to charge a lot more for repairs if this was the only thing we did, though. We'll get there. Alright, so with Matt's cursed logic board out of the way, what Mac are we working on today? It's a, where'd it go? A1989. It's got some water damage, so you know. Beautiful. We'll let 3461, or sorry, John know that they're up next here. Perfect. There you go, Matt. Thus ends the saga. We'll get you all wrapped up and ship this back out to you as soon as we can. Let me just reorganize my test bench over there. Make some room. We're gonna need it. Here we go, 3475. They've got no power here. After that, we've got John. I believe also no power. Let's see here, no lights, no nothing, except a couple of watts from the wall. That looks like the usual dead diode. Mike is here. Yes. Welcome back, Mike. How was your nap? Water damage, yep. I was not able to fix my Touch Bar MacBook Pro with water damage that I broke myself, but it was pretty severe. Water got all over the inside. I'll figure it out one day. I have a lot more confidence in being able to fix it now than I did when I broke it a few years ago. And I have more confidence that I'll fix this one now than I would be able to fix mine. It looks a lot less severe, but you never really know with water damage. Very, very tricky stuff. But we'll see what we can do without causing any damage. The goal is to obviously try to get it working, but if we can't, to not make it a more expensive and complicated repair for someone else down the road if we can't do it. I do not want to end up on Northridge Fix or a Louis Rossman video getting chewed out because of my, well, as Northridge Fix would put it, Hiroshima. Oh, they don't have a reason to worry about me now. Or hate on me now. I don't want to give them that reason, though. But I think we'll be okay. Either way, fix or no fix, we won't make a mess of it. I don't want to restart for updates. Remind me later. We're streaming right now. Can't you see? Yeah, anybody with a name starts drama with someone else with names. It just seems to be one of the inevitabilities of life. Oh, I loved his recent video on where he went off on rants about people's view counts and subscriber counts and what that one repair channel closing business. I kept laughing. He makes some good points, but it's still funny the way he puts some things. Death farts are a very specific sound. I'll play it for you now. That, if it's anything else, it's not death farts and it's not those filters. And those filters are what cause death farts. It goes both ways. So those filters generally don't cause other problems, and death farts aren't generally caused by other problems than those filters. So anything else it's not death farts. It's gonna be something else. Oh, that one's stuck. Here we go. A little bit of rubbing alcohol. A little bit of back and forth here. I don't want to strip this. I don't want to deal with extracting a broken screw today. We're on a good roll here. We're on a good pace. I think that'll work. Yes. Oh. Ooh, that was close. That was really close. But we got it. Alpha Cell, what is up? Welcome. If you have that sound, it is those filters. And you can confirm it for sure. I've got a diagnostic method on my website. You go to nixfix.com, you go to the known issues section, you expand that issue for death farts, and I show you how to test those filters and what measurement is good or bad. But if it's making that sound, it's those filters. If it's not, it's something else. Got to be that particular buzzing sound followed by a restart. Jason, a large cookbook landed on top of your HomePod. No way. Well, mystery solved right there for Jason's HomePod. We were fixing his up just a few pods ago here on this stream. If y'all want to go back and look at that. We got his HomePod apart. It was actually the first HomePod we looked at today. And we suspected physical damage before we even started taking it apart. And sure enough, we found that display was caved in. We thought it was dropped, but rather, turns out, a book was dropped on it. So that makes all the more sense. Cool. I'm glad it wasn't an unexplainable incident, like a kid or spouse not owning up to it, you know what I mean? We've had those. People are like, oh, I don't know how that could happen. Oh, what's even weirder are the ones where people are like, I live home alone, so I don't know how this could have gotten damaged. Those are kind of spooky. Like, what happened and how? Who happened and how? So we're doing a little bit of preventative maintenance first here. These have nothing to do with the power issue at hand, but they do often go bad and cause what we were talking about a few minutes ago there, those death farts. This is one of the most common issues these HomePods come into us for, so we like to replace these filters before they need it. Well, it's not the worst issue to have here. I can't complain. I'll take some physical damage for a busted display over needing a whole new logic board. There we go. Okay, we've got some new filters put on there. Let's repair our power problem. There it is, a 46K dated Schottky diode. Let's get that replaced. So, and with a brand new, bigger, better one, so it doesn't happen again. That'll work. The pins are internally connected on the board. They're both for ground, so that is perfectly okay. Perfectly fine. I'll demonstrate it for everyone. Happens to people, they email me and they sometimes end up destroying the board trying to fix it when you don't need to. They're internally connected. how much does a broken HomePod go for in the US? It's a pretty wide range, but they can easily go for up to $100. If you're quick enough, you can get them for anywhere less than that. But usually you're fighting people upwards of $80 to $100 for a broken one. It used to not be a problem getting your hands on a broken one for $60, but someone kept putting content and info out there on how to fix them and making it look so easy. So demand went up, supply went down. Prices have adjusted accordingly.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. I'm having trouble connecting.
That is interesting. We've only got a minus button there. I will make sure that that is lined up right before we ship it back to them, but that is a trivial task. Let's keep things moving along here. Here we've got John. John appears to turn on. Yes. But they've got some death farts. When is that Sing arriving? Dude, I bought it like I bought it as soon as I posted that picture. So I don't even think they've given me a tracking number yet. I'm a patient person. I sit back and I wait, and when it shows up, it shows up. If it doesn't, I'll get my money back. I'm not sweating when it shows up. I used to get real worked up about getting my tracking numbers and keeping an eye on things and waiting for the moment they are delivered and getting all worked up if they were pushed back. But it's just, I don't know. I've changed. Is this gonna boot up? I'll double check and make sure we've got the right one here. 3461. Ah, there it is. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds like those filters might be on their way out for sure. Let's get this all fixed up. Oh yeah, Stefan. I mean, you're gonna get it all the time, but like, when I was your age, you're gonna hear this a lot. When I was your age, but like seriously, when I was your age, I was buying stuff online and like always on top of it. I was big sweating about anything I ever bought, and I was always like, oh, I gotta have it now. When is it? Where is it? I would always try to get the cheapest and fastest shipping. Sometimes I'd pay more for faster shipping. But then it just, I just kind of realized, like, I learned that it literally has no bearing no effect on the outcome, how much I check on it, how much I worry about it. I got bigger things to deal with and worry about. And I mean, they've got great, usually where I'm buying stuff and what I'm buying it with has great buyer protection, so I'm not worried about them never shipping it and getting scammed. I can just get my money back. It's, you know, it does suck to not have the money and then have to go through and get it back. But not the end of the world. Oh yeah, I had internet back then. We had frickin' DSL, dude. And then we got our broadband. I remember when we upgraded, I was able to download an entire song in as long as it would take you to listen to it. Mind-blowing. Insane. Internet speeds at megabytes per second. You're telling me I could torrent a movie and it would be done downloading by the end of the day? Like maybe even in a few hours? My mind was blown. But yeah, I had internet then. My first, to put it into perspective, you know, my first computer was when I was like 14 to 17 years old. I did not get my hands on my first computer at a young age, unfortunately. My dad always let me hang around him and kind of watch him work on them, but I never really had my own or one to call my own until at least I was that old. And it was a Sony Vaio with a Pentium 4 and a couple of maybe a gig or two of RAM and Windows XP on it. And it was the only reason I got it was because it was the old family computer, and they had replaced it with a better one, I guess. I don't even remember. I do remember being younger and the days of going to Walmart with my babysitter and scooping up a couple of the AOL online, like the free AOL online CDs that they would give away. Never used them because I didn't have anything to use them on, but I always thought it was fun to... I always liked computers, even though I never had my own for a while. It actually goes all the way back to elementary school, 5th grade, 4th or 5th grade. I took, for Valentine's Day, they were letting us make our own Valentine's Day boxes, you know, so all the kids could go around and pass out Valentines. And instead of a box, I took our old family computer to school. And I took everything out of it so that all it had was the power supply and the DVD drive, and you could open the DVD drive and put your Valentine in there. Of course, I didn't get any, but... I did have a MySpace though. I had a MySpace account when MySpace was big and popular. I think that was a middle school thing. I remember asking my mom, like, Mom, can I have a Facebook account? Even though I already had one, I just wanted her approval, really. Just so I wouldn't get in trouble if she caught me with one. But she gave me approval, and I would hop on my MySpace and mess around there while I would hang out with her while she was working at the urgent care. What was the point of HomePods? That's a good question, but it depends on what what perspective you're looking for there. I think that HomePods are because Apple wanted another way to suck people into their subscription services. I mean, that makes sense because if you want the best quality music streaming on your HomePod, you have to use Apple Music to get the lossless and the Atmos and what have you, right? So you get people into the hardware, and if they want to take full advantage of it, they have to subscribe to your software services too. Bada bing, bada boom. But that said, the first gen HomePod, they didn't slouch around with the hardware inside. Like they made a serious attempt at making a good sounding speaker. Wow, our capacitors are doing some gymnastics there. That was interesting. I'll take it. All right, maintenance. Well, actually, that's the star of the show right there for this HomePod. Those was causing our problems. It does need a new Schottky diode. That's a 48K date code on there. Those are what we see often failing and causing no power, so we'll get that replaced before it needs it and gets sent back to us for it. Ooh, okay. There is one other thing we should take care of here. Let's get back in it. Our 10 ohm resistor, it's looking a little questionable. To my naked eye, it looks worse than it does on camera. I'm just gonna not trust like that, and we're gonna replace this. I just had an order of components come in, so I have got a whole bunch of these 10 ohm resistors. And by a whole bunch, I mean like 50 of them, but it's not too often I need to replace this. I mean, I'm perfectly happy with my HomePod not being able to yell any slurs at me. Obscene, curse words, no big deal. Slurs, we'll have it. We can have a discussion about that somewhere, some other time. That's not what we're here for, though. But I would like a more vulgar version of Siri wouldn't be too bad. Maybe one that talks back to me when I give her crap. Like, I'm just waiting for the day when I give Siri a hard time on one of my HomePods one day, and she like snaps back at me, and I won't be able to reproduce it, and people will think I'm crazy. This is another non-polar component. Doesn't matter if we've got it this way or upside down. There's no orientation for it per se. Obviously pin to pad, but there we go. That should make this one happy HomePod. I'm gonna double check the subwoofer here. Yeah, seems fine. What kind of watch you got, Stefan? Is it an Apple Watch? Is it a Pebble? Alright. We got John all fixed up. That's sounding better already. We've got 3488 up here now, with Nick up next. Let's let Nick know. Alright, so we've got the blinkies going on 3488. Let's see if it's a software issue or a hardware issue. It looks like someone's tried taking this off. Yeah, someone's already taken this off. Maybe not quite all the way though. Or if they did, it doesn't look like anybody's tried restoring it yet. Those debug pins look pretty fresh and untouched. Let's see what it's got for us. We'll plug in our USB cable. Oh, 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. Had to take a work call, you know. We gotta, if the phone rings, if it's the phone that keeps the lights on, we gotta answer it. So anyways, I'll explain what's going on here. I went ahead and kicked off the USB restore for number 3488 here, and it is succeeding. It is dang near almost done. So here's what we're gonna do. I always like to let these test overnight before I jump into the hardware maintenance for them if they opted for it. Let's see here what they picked. 3488. They said I want the hardware maintenance as well. So yes, we will let this test overnight. We'll make sure that it's just a software issue that broke it, and then we'll take it apart and do the other hardware maintenance to prevent other problems. I'm gonna let this wrap up. We'll set this to the side, and give me one more second, folks. I'm gonna mute myself, and we'll be right back here in like a minute. Oh, okay. I got me some, just a quick little calorie here, just a chocolate umaibo. I love these little suckers. The restore on this guy's almost done. Here's Nick's HomePod. We'll go ahead and get started on this while we're waiting for this one to wrap up. Here we go. What have we got here? No lights, no power. I'm using the power cable connected to my kilowatt, unfortunately, so I have no idea how much power this is pulling. But chances are it's that usual dead diode. We are all out of Ichiban. It's time for the Corona. Cheers, folks. Something's smoking. Might be me. I don't see nothing smoking in here though. I think we're all right. Restore finished. Oh, sleep. Sleep. My guy, what is up? Welcome. No 9070 XT. Is that a thing? I didn't even... I still have an RX 60... I have an RX 6000 6800 XT in my computer. And that's pushing my knowledge. That's pushing the date of my knowledge. I fell off when AMD started... When AMD had the... After the 7000 series cards. They started doing the weird RX... I don't know. They had the 580s. The freaking 480s. The freaking... mono numbers these days, man. What the heck's going on? Well, I didn't notice that, but looks like 3488 is good with just a software issue there. We'll test this overnight and make sure that it wasn't a hardware issue that bricked it in the first place before we, on the next stream, we'll knock out its hardware maintenance to prevent anything else from happening to it that we can help at least. Okay, back to this guy. Oh, just launched today. Okay. Alright. You still have a 2070 non-super? Yeah. Yeah. I can see that being a desirable upgrade. But I mean, you know, honestly what you could do if there isn't a specific technology in the newest card that you're itching to get, you could save some money and get a used like 2080 Ti or 3070 or something like that. You know, not the latest, but still, you know, if you get the last or second to last generation of flagship card, that's still going to be it's going to be a significant upgrade from what you got now. Nvidia fell off after the 1080. Let's be real. Like, as soon as they introduced the 2000 series cards with ray tracing and all that, upgrading never got as exciting. It was never taken as seriously. Pricing got out of control. Performance increases. Meh. But hey, we've got all these fake frames now, so there's that. Yeah, like ray tracing it's cool and all, don't get me wrong, but it's not a feature that's worth having or quartering my frame rate. When it gets to the point where like I won't notice a difference because I'm already, you know, maxing my monitor and my monitor's frame rate out as it is, turning ray tracing on or off won't make a difference, then yeah, obviously I'll want it on and I'll keep it on, but I'm not gonna, and especially I'm not gonna pay $1,000+ for a card just to get playable frame rates with ray tracing turned on. But to each their own. I haven't like really sat down and like played a video game in years. One of my friends is an absolute die-hard ray tracing fan. He swears by it. Anytime we're hanging out, he's at one point it's guaranteed to be brought up at some point. You'd think he was a significant investor in Nvidia stock with how much he talks about it, but oh, Mike is back. Welcome back, Mike. I hope the planes landed safely. Hope they didn't park too close to you. Hope they didn't interrupt your nap too much. What issue could a Mini have? Oh boy. With no power? Usually, excuse me. Usually no power is a short somewhere, regardless of the device. In my experience, no power is either, if it's not physical damage, it's a short somewhere. And what we've found on a lot of these minis, now that we've started finding all these different no power minis and their causes, it's usually just a shorted capacitor somewhere around the CPU. But there's a good chance you have to use voltage injection to find which CPU is or which capacitor is shorted out. We've seen a few times now trying to use a thermal camera or flux pen to find a short on the minis. It's usually not generating enough or any heat at all at the component that's actually shorted out. You have to do voltage injection, and that'll point you to. And also I noticed that the capacitor in these minis that ends up being shorted, usually it's not the same one, but it's a similar one. So like there's a whole bunch of capacitors that go around, like are lined all around directly outside the CPU, and that seems to be the common location for a shorted capacitor, is any one of those. No same one. Haven't seen the same one failing, it's always been a different one. Did we ever put your Mini together? No, we never put your Mini together. We've got priorities, Mike. We've got people waiting longer than you have, believe it or not, actually, on some stuff here. We're trying, but I know you know. I know you're cool. There's our 48K data diode. That's what usually causes no power in these big HomePods. Let's get that replaced. The only reason these diodes fail is from a quality control issue with the diode itself. It's not an underrated part. It's not a design flaw with the HomePod, depending on how you look at it. I mean, when you boil it down, at the end of the day, yeah, it's a design flaw with the HomePod. The diode failed, but the diode itself is not failing for any reason other than a quality issue with that diode. So we will replace this with a brand new one. That'll prevent the same issue from happening again. It's a bigger, better, higher quality one, but just being from a different batch by itself will prevent the same problem from happening again. So in any case, there are many other things that'll go wrong before this will again. We have a few more viewers here with us than I feel like we normally do. Where'd you all come from? Who sent you here? What is the common denominator? Well, anyways, I'll take this opportunity to say, if you don't like lead-free solder, get good. Get good flux, you know? Mike, just because you don't remember making it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. SC Jennings, welcome, welcome. You're here for the Mac. What else do we have? I think the Mac is next. Oh, you guys are in luck. The MacBook is next. We'll have time for that, I tell you what. I don't think we'll have time to totally fix it, but I think we'll be able to make some progress here before we have to go. Well, just give me a few minutes, folks. Just hang tight. Should only take me about another 5 or 10 minutes to get this HomePod put together, and we'll take a look at this MacBook. Hopefully Avnish makes it. He seemed pretty excited to watch us take a look at that. You want to send me a picture of your water damage? I mean, you're welcome to send me a picture of it. I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to help you much with it other than peanut gallery tier commentary. Better yet, don't send me a picture. Post it in the Discord. Post it in my Discord server. And you know, if I don't have any good ideas, someone else I'm sure is eager to beat me to a better answer. Do not send me. Okay. If it's not a foot long, I don't want to see it. And if you still send it to me, I'm going to share it with my wife, and we're both going to point and laugh at you. You hear that? That's why, if you're ever curious why I sit here while we're putting these back together and I do this, that's not for fun. That's for a purpose. It's to find issues like that. Issues that keep us from getting to that MacBook. Something isn't sealing correctly. What is wrong here? I don't see any bends in the subwoofer. I don't see any cracks in our ring here. Let's just readjust all of this. Ooh, that one feels awful. Okay, let's try this one more time. That's fixed. That's nice and sealed. We can move forward. Yes. All right. Give me that MacBook. Give me that broken MacBook. Are you ready for something different? You don't care for MacBook? I wasn't asking you, Mike. I was asking everybody else but you. Hey, we've got power. All right. It is time.
I'm having trouble connecting to the...
Beautiful. I've got to lie to you guys. I haven't opened this up already. I've already disconnected the battery here because I wanted to give it plenty of time to discharge everything before we dove in here. These things have a nasty habit of ribbon cables that need to be disconnected, but holding a long charge in their capacitors. So when you go to disconnect the, after you've disconnected the battery, you go and you start unplugging other ribbon cables, and you have a chance of, as you unplug that ribbon cable, crossing wires in that ribbon cable in the connector, taking it out crooked and shorting something out and damaging things. So I went ahead and took this apart earlier, but all I've done is disconnect the battery here. I haven't done anything else. I mean, look, there's even still a hair from them or one of their pets in here still. So take my word for it. And I'm not gonna turn this on yet or try and test anything quite yet, because what I want to go ahead and do first is clean up some of the more obvious damage that we can see here. So what we've got going on, it looks like this was the primary point of ingress here, and we can confirm by looking at the other side of our back panel, looking for any signs of liquid there for places to look on our main board here. But surprisingly, the back case was pretty clean. I didn't see anything other than right here, which lines right up with this right here. So I was looking around this board looking for anything else, and we had a little bit of a spot here and a couple more spots over here on the fan. But I don't see anything on the fan itself, which is good news. That means that hopefully no liquid actually got in the fan and got flung around the rest of the board, and adding a whole bunch of mystery and complication here. Anyways, basically I've already gone over a visual of most of this board. And the only things that I can find of concern, obviously we've got this up here. There's a bit here and a bit over here on this stuff. And then down here, actually, there's a little bit right in there. Just a little bit of corrosion. But it's enough to cause problems. So everything else seems untouched, unaffected. Even if we peel this up, everything under here looks perfectly fine. So we might get lucky here, and this might just need a little bit of a cleaning to come back to life. Let me grab my other screwdriver here. I believe I've already got the right size. No, I don't. Whoops. Let's see, is it, I think this is the right one. No, apparently that's not. Let's find the right sized bits here and get this connector off. I want to get this off and see if there's anything underneath that. We're gonna start with just a little clean around the areas that we've got obvious damage, and then we'll do a quick test and see if this turns on and or what issues it might have still here. None of my, let me go grab my other bit set. I tricked you all. I grabbed my second bit set and another chocolate amiibo. This is weird. Do I not have the right size here? I mean, I know I'm not exactly organized at the moment here, but what the heck? T6, T5. Oh, I know what I can do. It's not that one. It's not that one. All right, it's a T3. Apparently I'm missing both of my T3s. Weird. But, okay. Be sure to get chocolate in the MacBook. Okay. Alright. That looks totally clean. You know? Don't you know, eh? Let's go ahead and get everything disconnected so we can look at the other side of the board. And we will see about giving it a quick clean and a quick power on test. Let's see, anything else that I can unplug without grabbing the screwdriver again? Yeah, there's this one over here. There's one underneath of that one. You know, a strange coincidence, I have the same MacBook. And I've also water damaged it. But that was a few years ago, and I did not have the same experience I do now. Let's see, I think I need the screwdriver for everything else again here. Okay. We need to. Does that get unplugged there? All the way around. Get this unplugged. Okay, is there any sign of liquid underneath here? No. No, that looks really clean. That's a good sign. What about the other side of our board here? Again, it's looking clean. Okay, I think we give this a quick scrub, and then we do some sanity checks and make sure there aren't any obvious shorts present in this area that we see most of this gunk, and then we will give it a quick test and see if it works. Okay. Let's look around here now that it's all cleaned up and see if anything got damaged from that corrosion. We got really lucky. This chip here has infill all around it, so water wouldn't have gotten, nothing would have gotten in there. I mean, geez, everything looks great. Let's see if we can find any obvious shorts. If not, then we're gonna see if this thing turns on. Alright, these are good grounds. Let's see here. I'm not seeing any problems as far as shorts with continuity mode are concerned. No kidding. Well, let's see what happens here. I mean, if this is a matter of scrubbing it with a toothbrush for a few minutes and putting it back together, I can't complain. I won't charge them too much for it, obviously, either. Let's see. I thought these fans had, interesting. This is a little different than mine is. Let's dust this out while we've got it here. Something is keeping this. Oh. There we go. We'll put a couple of screws in here to keep things nice and staying where they're at. Where did I put my other... Where did I put my other screwdriver? Oh, it fell. Okay. Stuff going back together time. I'm just going to put a couple of screws in here. Nothing crazy. I'll take that as a hint, I guess. Let's see. Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. Alright, I think that is enough screws to plug some stuff back in here. I wouldn't leave those plugged in yet. It's just the wireless. It is incredible how much they have in these connected to a main board. Okay. I believe that it's time to reconnect the battery. Let's see what this machine has got for us. She's dead, Jim. Still no worky. I mean, we'll leave it plugged in for a minute here in case it just needs to charge up for a second, but can't say I'm terribly surprised so far. All we've done so far was clean it. Let's try the other side. Okay, well, I don't see, it's not giving me any like battery light here. I don't see any fans spin. I suppose, let's see. I'm gonna take a couple of, just a quick couple of sanity check measurements and make sure we're actually getting voltage in here. Let's see. Yeah. I got 12 volts over here. I got 3.35 volts over there. Nothing over here. Near the CPU. Let's see. I mean, okay, so I mean, we're getting voltage into the board. So I know my cable's fine, my adapter's fine. Let's see if anything, see if anything's getting hot, I suppose. Oh, we do have something getting quite warm. Yeah, it's this 2R7 inductor right here. And where'd my tool just go? Oh, haha. I spent a week looking for my iPad. Let's see, what else is getting warm over there? There's an IC right next door that's getting really warm. Is there anywhere else on the board getting warm? Yeah, something on the back side over here. Or rather, maybe under that tape. Anything over here? No. No, actually, everything looks pretty fine. Uh-huh. Of course, it's the T2 chip that's getting warm. Of course. Okay. What else? So we've got a big inductor right here that's getting warm. We've got an 8-pin, looks like some kind of power MOSFET or something right next to it that's getting warm. But none of this is anywhere near any of the water damage. I mean, this almost feels like it's just charging and kind of... waiting. Let me make sure everything I've got here is plugged in. Yes, sir. Looks like we've got it all connected. Let's see if it's turning on now. Is anything? Oh. Still no power though. Isn't there? I'm pretty sure there was a reset button on these, or a couple of pads that you. There were a couple of pads that you're supposed to short. On mine, I think there's even a button. Let me see if I can find my USB-C power meter. That'll help us too. Okay, so I can't find my USB-C power meter. I'm gonna have to spend some more time and look for that after the stream here. But we've got some pretty obvious clues here. We're not seeing voltage on all of our rails, is my understanding. So if we look on this one, now we've got nothing on that one. But we should have something on this. Yeah, we've got 12 volts on that inductor that's getting warm. But that's the only thing that I think is we're seeing voltage on. There was one that we saw 3.3 volts, right? Yeah, this one's got 3.3 volts. So we've got 3.3 volts and we've got 12 volts. And that's it. But that gives us a couple of clues. Yeah, nothing else. Oh, we've got 5 volts over here. So we've got 12 volts, 5 volts, and 3 volts. So I think what we need to do at this point is find a schematic for this board, and we're gonna do a little bit of Googling here, and we're gonna see if we can come up with some more things to look at here. So far, I don't see any problems. So we might have more water damage somewhere that we're not seeing. But we are unfortunately about out of time here. The timing worked out, really. I didn't think we were gonna get this far, but we were able to at least take a quick look at this and clean it up and confirm that it wasn't going to be so easy as scrubbing it, giving it a little scrub with the toothbrush and alcohol. So, folks, that is it for here and now. I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair. We're going to do a little bit of research and see where we should approach this MacBook here next. If you have any suggestions or what have you, feel free to let me know. You can leave a comment. You can join my Discord. You can knock on my door if you really feel like it. In any case, I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair. And oh yeah, we've still got some other stuff here. We've got a couple of minis that need to get fixed. We've got Fernanda's mini that needs its power cable finished. We've got Will's mini that has no power. We've got Mike's mini that has no power, and Mike has a couple other big boy HomePods that need a little bit of tidying up. And I've got a Steam Deck that needs a shell swap too. I've actually got 2 Steam Decks that need shell swaps done. One of them is a pretty standard, it's just another extreme rate shell, and then the other one is going to be fun. They wanted like a PlayStation theme, like a PlayStation 1 theme. And they've got the model of Steam Deck that there is not a gray shell for, so we're gonna paint their shell. But in any case, yeah, that's enough. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope to catch you in the next one. Goodbye.